So hello everyone, as I told you in the last video, we will be talking about how to transform data. Before that, it's very important that we get ourselves acquainted with the structure, that how this transforming of data works. So if I have to show you Power BI, we were somewhere here in the last video where I said you can either load the data. Now loading the data will straight away load the entire data into Power BI and you will not be able to do any changes in that. It's always best, even if you don't want to transform, it's always best to go to transform data. So if there are any anomalies which you can find out, you can actually solve those anomalies, and you will see this particular window opening as soon as you click on transform data. This is called Power Query. So let me explain you quickly what exactly Power Query is and how it works. So if we'll see the first one, that's the ribbons. Now ribbons are nothing but we deal with them in our daily life. These are very typical options which we get in PDFs and most of the Microsoft Office applications like Home, Transform, Add columns. We will be going through details about this Transform and Add columns and even Home. Then we have Query List. This is where it is. It will be showing you the tables that are loaded in Power BI. Then we have Data Preview. This gives you the entire preview of the data, what all columns are there and what are the types of these columns. Then we have fourth one, which is called a formula bar. This is more like the formula bar of Excel, and the code which is used in this formula bar is called M code. We don't have to worry about it. It's more like if you have ever worked on VBA, as you're creating macros, these codes get auto-generated. This is that kind of code itself called as M code. Then we have properties here. Now properties are basically the most important is name itself. In case you want to change the name of your table, you can change it here. Then we have applied steps, and we will be talking about in detail about these applied steps while we will be transforming our data. So these are the certain features. Let's jump to Power BI and see how it works. So here it is. Sorry, I have to go to, okay, so here we are in the Power Query Editor option, where we can see Home, and this is our data. It's our product data. Let me just go to this view. I'm not able to do it. Okay, so I will go option by option. In the previous videos we saw that with the view option you can actually see all these kind of distributions and everything. I'm just going to take it off. And here is our product. So we can actually see the data types here, the name of the column here, and here are all the things. It tells you whether it's a product size. So we will be working on a bit of transformations here. So we see its product subcategory. It have already identified this one as a string, which is product SKU, the product name, the product model. We actually don't need to do any changes in this because all the things are identified how they are. But I found a bit of problem here. As you can see, this product size column, it contains numbers as well as alphabets, so I'm not very happy with this. And what I'm going to do is just remove this. So before that, I'll just tell you, as we were looking at the presentation itself, so this is the name of the table. You can actually change the name of the table here. I want to keep it, say, AD works, and I'm going to write _dim. Dim is the short form for dimension, and I'll tell you why I have done that. You don't have to worry about it, and as soon as you do anything, so for example, I just want to remove this. You can do a right click here and remove it, or you can find out the option of removing somewhere here as well and remove it. I'm just going to use the easiest one, and as I remove that column, you see this particular step has changed, and this has got added here. If we have to cancel this, we will again see the product size column. But again, as I told you, you can just remove and see there are certain changes done here. Removed columns, that is what has been done. We can rename this as well, and it's very I would suggest you to keep on renaming these things, because then you will be aware about what changes you have done here, so that you are quite aware about it even in a later part of the analysis. You want to understand that what column had you removed. It just says remove column, but we have actually removed the product size column. So I'm just going to name it so, because so that I will remember it, that which column I remove, rather than various columns and breaking my head on this. So we just did a bit of transformation here, and you can do close and apply. Now as soon as you click on close and apply, the Power BI will working on loading this data. Now Power BI will say, okay, this is the final data, and Power BI will load this data. In the later part of the videos, I'll take you towards the transformation feature, what we saw in Power BI. I'm talking about this column, transform, and add columns. So we will be working on some text transformations and new columns which are related to text, and we will be working on some numerical columns and working on transformation and adding columns to these numerical columns. I'll also take you through the statistics function, which are more of aggregate functions. Aggregate functions are nothing to worry about. They are very normal functions what we even use in Excel, like sum, like averages, like minimum, maximum, and count. So that's it for today. Let's get back to the transformation of data of text columns probably. Thank you very much.